So today, I'm assuming you are all aware of the topic that we will be discussing, right? Which is receptive skills. So receptive skills, what would be a receptive skill? Simon?
That's a good question, though.
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah.
Why is it a good question?
Well, because I might know it about it, but I forget maybe, forgot already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, when we're teaching a language, there are 4 skills that we will focus on, right? Which is reading, speaking, and then there's listening and writing, right? So we have the 4 skills. 2 of the skills are receptive. It means that we get it in, we receive it. And the other 2 would be productive, to make it. So which 2 would be considered receptive?
Listening, reading.
Oh, Maurice, yeah, thanks. Yeah, listening and reading, right? So we will be focusing on those 2 skills today. When I did my preparation for this, I learned a lot because I think the way I usually approach these topics or these skills would often be in a way to like test. I would test for listening and I would test reading. But there's a difference between teaching these skills, or maybe I can say practice these skills instead of just testing it. Okay, so also before I continue, I have to say I am no expert on this topic. So we are equals here. We're sharing. I definitely don't have a place of authority on this specific topic. So please, if you want to contribute, please go ahead. Okay. How I'm going to do this is we're going to start with a couple of exercises, and then we can just have a discussion afterwards. Okay, this is what we already talked about. So what are receptive skills, Travis?
Listening and reading, skills where you don't need to produce language.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. And can a receptive skill be practiced?
Are you asking me?
Well, I'm asking, it's a rhetorical question, but I see Alyssa is nodding. Yeah, of course, it can be produced. We can get better at listening. Like if you have a partner, a significant other, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, maybe that person has told you before, you don't listen to me. Can you get better at listening? Absolutely. Well, we hope so. They hope so. Here we go.
Do you ever wonder if it's selective listening, though? You know, even with the students, it's like they're purposefully not listening because they'd rather not participate. It's like,
oh yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, like they don't want to listen.
yeah.
Because if they, you can just say, oh, I don't know. No. Okay. What can you tell me about this picture? When is it? Let's start with the WH questions. When? When was this picture taken? Afternoon? Maurice?
He looks like he doesn't need a shave because he hasn't hit puberty yet.
That is true. That is true. That's that's very true. Yeah, it does look like maybe he's just pretending, you know, copying dad or someone. Okay. Yeah, so he doesn't need a shave. That's good that you said shave. And what's on his face?
Shaving cream.
Shaving cream. How do you know it's cream and not foam or gel?
I guess I just call it shaving cream.
Is there a difference?
As a woman, no. I guess it all comes out white, doesn't it? Like it starts off some way and then turns white when you mix it. I don't know.
Let's see, who actually uses a razor? Simon, I think you use a clipper. I use a Travis, do
Depends.
you shave with a, what do we call that thing again?
The electric shaver?
Yeah, the other one, the analog one.
Talk about a razor, like a straight edge razor.
That's it. Yeah, a razor. So anyone that uses a razor? No. Travis, you are also on the clipper. Maurice, clipper. Everyone.
Yeah, clippers, because if you use a razor, you get like bumps and stuff. So I'd rather use an electric shaver because it leaves some hair, so my sensitive baby skin doesn't get all red and bumpy.
Yeah. Yeah, if I shave with a razor, I look like this boy. They mistake me. They think I'm one of the students.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sure.
So already did this one, right? So what will happen next? Sorry, I'm focusing on the people with the cameras open, just so that it feels like I'm talking to someone. So if you are there and you want me to call your name, I can do that. Sasha, what do you think will happen next? Oh, is Sasha there? Maybe no. Well, there's a lot of power English. Gestas? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. What do you think will happen next? Okay, I'm just going to continue.
It's like I'm in my class from this
Oh,
morning.
yeah, exactly. Is this thing on? Is my microphone working? Did I mute myself? Okay, so what equipment do we need for this? We talked about the foam or the gel. What else?
I would
Nothing?
assume razor, like you said.
A razor, that's a good one. Thank you, Maurice.
Towel.
A towel, that's a great one. Yeah, I always forget my towel.
Running water.
Running water. Yeah, some people like running water. Other people kind of have put some water in the sink.
Possibly a mirror.
A mirror. Yeah. Yeah, the worst is when you kind of find that you missed a spot. Alyssa, I'm assuming you're shaving your legs, but that's a lot more to shave than a face. And I think easier to,
Yeah,
a mirror won't help.
but I think it's easier. I think
Easy.
it's not as, yeah, like your face is so delicate and then, I don't know.
Yeah, unpredictable.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
hair, if I move my skin, the hair kind
It
of
grows in different directions, right? And like that.
Yeah, so a mirror, razor, shaving cream, towel. And is this guy confident about his task?
I feel like no emotion from this photo.
No emotion.
No. Yeah.
I see like a little glimmer of like confidence. So just like a small glimmer.
Yeah.
But he's not scared, right?
He looks more like he's just kind of, he did it. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the face he looks like.
I'm so surprised that he got that shaving cream on perfectly. Nothing on his lip. And it's so thin.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he didn't do it. The photographer staged it.
Yeah. Oh, it's already happening.
It's a new day, and now's the perfect time to get ready for something great. Once you get going, you'll notice what a difference a great start makes. And because great things start with Gillette, your first step is getting a proper shave. Are you ready? Let's get started. Begin by hydrating your face with warm water for up to 3 minutes. Washing away the dead skin will help you avoid nicks and cuts and get a smoother shave. Shave gel helps prevent razor burn, so don't forget it. If you have sensitive skin, try letting your shave gel soak in. Now it's time to shave. For optimal results, always use a multi-blade razor. Don't forget to check the indicator strip. If it's white, consider changing your blade. When your blade is on your face, don't force it. Use light strokes and let the razor do the work. Pull your skin taut to help prevent nicks and cuts. And remember, no matter which way your facial hair grows, start shaving with the grain. Don't forget to rinse your blade. You'd be surprised what a difference it makes. For those occasions when you want to get really close, try a few strokes against the grain. Now that you've cleared most of your unwanted hair, it's time to get those hard-to-reach places. Flip your razor over and let the single blade do its work. Finally, rinse with cold water to help seal your pores to make your skin feel soft and smooth. And don't forget the aftershave lotion. It soothes your skin and smells great. There you go. What a difference. Now you're looking good and ready for anything. You're ready. Get started.
So is what you expected? No, Travis. So what were you expecting? What would happen?
Well, I was wondering where you're going with this, but now that it goes through, now it makes sense, and now I understand. So, but I want to say, teacher, pull your skin taut is what?
Say again. Pull your skin.
In the video, it said pull your skin taut. Teacher, what does that mean?
That's a very good question. Okay. We're gonna watch it again. Well, this time we're gonna watch it.
Watch?
Yeah, there's actually a video. Okay, there we go. The reason why I didn't show you the video was because then we don't need to listen. We can guess by what we're seeing. But listening is different, right? Listening, it requires different attention. Okay? So now this time we're gonna watch it again, watch it. And we're gonna answer these questions afterwards. So you have to say, is it true or false? The first step to a great day is brushing your teeth. Begin by hydrating your face. Hydrating, Alyssa, what does hydrating mean?
Giving water. I don't know.
Okay,
receiving
water. Okay. Good. Hydrating water. Yeah, that's great. Shave gel causes razor burn. Can you remember what a razor was, Maurice?
Yeah, I know what a
What is a
razor
razor
is.
burn?
It's when the razor gets too close to your skin and like takes off a little bit of the epidermis.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, it's a terrible one. Okay. Use light strokes and let the razor do the work. And then don't rinse your blade. So let's watch it again And these are very easy questions, very easy. So all you have to do is to check for true or false. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, guys, okay, because we don't need to really do it.
It's a new day, and now's the perfect time to get ready for something great. Once you get going, you'll notice what a difference a great start. No matter which way your facial hair grows,
Okay?
flip your razor over.
Pretend we're doing it. Because
There you go.
we
What a
don't
difference.
really
Now you're looking good and ready for anything. You're ready. Get started.
Okay.
That
So
kid
let's
is
see.
13.
It's a new day.
Say again.
That kid is 13. Just look at him on the bed. Does he need a shave? No.
How old were you when you started shaving, Maurice?
Like 20 something.
20 something. Like
Literally,
he's
yeah.
getting an easy early start. How about you, Simon? How old were you when you started shaving?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Travis, you have quite a good beard too. I wish I had a full beard. How old?
Thanks. I'm probably like 15 or 16. Same. I'm surprised Maurice waited until 20s. That seems like a late bloomer, I guess.
I still don't have facial hair.
Yeah, I don't have a full beard. During lockdown, I tried to make a full beard. I just looked like a bum, but no one saw me. So that was my experiment. But yeah, baby cactus. Okay. Let's do Travis. You can read number 1, and if it's true, just say true. If it's false, you also have to say what is the correct one. So Travis number 2, Simon. Travis number 1, Simon number 2, Maurice number 3, Alyssa number 4, and Dut number 5.
Number 1, the first step to a great day is brushing your teeth. For me, this is true, but I would say this is false because in the video, it was shaving, right?
Okay, good.
I think.
Simon?
Well, number 2 is beginning by hydrating your face. I mean, he doesn't have any beard anyway, so I don't know what's the purpose for him to hydrate his face in the first place anyway. So I would say it's a false.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any hair anyway. So.
Okay. Good. Maurice, number 3.
Shave gel causes razor burn. That is false. Shaving gel is there to reduce razor burn.
Yeah, nice. Alyssa?
Use light strokes and let the razor do the work. True, I think.
Okay. That number 5.
Don't rinse your plate. That's true.
Okay. Good. So what should we do with the razor or the blade? Lick it?
We should wash it with water.
Yeah. Good.
That is rinse.
Yeah, that is rinse. That's right. Yeah, that is rinse. Okay. We don't have to do this one now, but this would be a typical activity that I would do afterwards, right? Because now they've done a listening, and now they need to produce the language that they've learned, right? Monkey see or listen, and then monkey does, right? So we first need to get input, need to get the vocabulary and the mindset before we can produce, right? So that's, I'm going to skip a little bit over the next ones. We don't have to do it as fully. Thank you guys for helping though, for participating. Oopsie.
This is a good example, but I'm just curious because like using the books and the audio files, I feel like it definitely takes a lot longer than just like a nice little shaving video. And like, you know, it seems like, yeah, like it's long and they're very difficult. I'd say they're like, well, I'm in 11 and 12th grade.
Oh.
And yeah, I think we can get through like one listening.
Are you doing this?
No, it's the IELTS I think it's like 5 to 6.5 and anyway, I don't know. I'm just trying to think because like I keep trying to push for like a production activity after the receptive. Like we're sitting there and we're listening, and then we have like 5 minutes left and I can't do any like production phase.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
At my school currently, I don't do any receptive skills. I only do writing and speaking. Travis, how about you? Do you often do reading or listening?
Reading, no, I don't often teach reading, but usually like writing, sometimes listening, and then speaking.
Yeah,
But I do understand it.
on speaking, right?
Yeah, but it can be hard with like production at times. Like even doing writing, a lot of times most students won't even do it, or they try to like team up. So it can be pretty tricky sometimes to try to get everybody to produce something for that period.
Yeah, and it also makes a difference if you've got one 45-minute class, two 45-minute classes back to back, or two 45-minute classes split up, right? Makes a big difference. Okay, so again, the next one is just a sample lesson of this is from my grade 11 book. I took it exactly from the book, and I changed some of the activities. Right, so this would be like tic-tac-toe, where you have all these words, and I would divide the class into 2 teams, and then they would take turns to play tic-tac-toe or karo, and then basically use the words. Right, before I continue with the game, I would first check that they know all these words, and explain the ones that they don't use. So I like this game a lot, because it's challenging enough and they help each other. So there's a lot of repetition, a lot of thinking, and using the words in context. So for me, this is a great game. Just some pictures. By the way, can you, by just looking at these words, can you guess what we are going to talk about?
Climate change.
Climate change, that's a good guess. Okay, let's check a little bit more. Okay, you don't need to focus too much on the details of the pictures. Just get like an overall view. Okay. Who wants to take a guess what the topic is?
Renewable.
Global warming.
Okay, global warming, renewable energy.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one in so we can call it sources of energy, right? So there's number 4 and number 3, maybe number 4. Would that be renewable energy? And what is that? No? Okay. I'm going to show you some names and you can just match it to the pictures, right? Nuclear power.
3, 2,
Yeah.
5, 1.
1.
Geothermal.
4.
Yeah.
That would be Iceland.
We playing Kahoot right now.
Yeah, we're playing Kahoot. Yeah, but at least Kahoot gives you some options. This is there's another word for wind power. I don't know what it is though.
Turbine? Or turbine is...
Turbine would be the thing, right?
Turbine's the thing that spins.
Yeah, like water power is hydro. Right, but what is wind?
I think they just call it wind.
like that would be a smart move, right? Then they don't need to remember a new word. They can just stick to the ones we already have. We don't always need new stuff. Okay. Are there any words that you don't understand or don't know, or maybe don't know how to pronounce?
Like, are you asking as if we're EFL
Yeah,
students?
no,
or-
just check. Because maybe there's something that's you're unsure of. Okay.
E.
E. Okay, how would you say that word?
Geothermal.
Say
No,
again?
I'm just geothermal. Yeah.
Yeah, geothermal. Yeah, good. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out what it means. Okay. We don't really have to do it. Do you guys want to do it quickly? I think you can do really good. So take 2 minutes and quickly finish this.
So this is like, we've already practiced the words one time in the tic-tac-toe.
Yes, that's
And
right.
now-
That's absolutely right. And now, so we'll get
Yeah.
into the steps later. But so a receptive lesson has 3 parts, right? We have the pre, the during, and the post or after, right? So this would still be kind of pre-reading because we haven't read anything about electricity yet. We're just checking. We're checking what we already know.
Okay.
Right. So the first game, that was just warm up and fun, but with a goal of, getting
Yeah.
to this. This would be using words or vocabulary in context, and guessing which ones, because maybe we don't know. Right. And then this is actually an activity from the book where you just quickly scan through the passage and you have to just say what are the advantages or disadvantages. I will talk a little bit about this later on as well, but there's something else you can do called a KWL board, which is similar to this, but it would have 3 columns, and you would do what you already know about these things. You write down in the first column what you want to know about it, and then at the end you do what you learned about this, to kind of expand it. This is literally just from the book, just to use it as an example. Okay, with the reading, with a just reading or reading for just, we want them. So let me first go back. So we don't want them to read for details immediately, right? We first need to warm up to the idea of this topic. So a good way to do that is, for example, to let them just read, but the words disappear, right? And quite fast, so that they cannot read everything, right? So you have to just look at some words and then, okay, was that too fast? Want to have one more go? Okay, here we go. Okay. Dot, what is this passage about?
Guys of energy.
Okay, kinds of energy. That's a very good guess. Yeah, types of energy. That's right. Okay, then you can go back to the whole thing. On this note, I don't like it if my students take out their books immediately. I often try to let them do the work without knowing that they are doing book work. Because the moment they take out their books, they are not at the same pace as the rest of the class anymore. And then it becomes a self-study lesson, which I sometimes I let them do it like that, do it by themselves. Don't give them any context, just give them the exercise. But of course, sometimes we need to do a little bit more, and we can expand the lesson. We can really build up a nice lesson around this if we have the time, right?
I would piggyback on that, Fani. Like, if you expand on the lesson, oftentimes when I tell students, like, oh, okay, we're going to do this topic, but you don't need your book. And they're like clapping and cheering that they don't have to use the book, but it's still
we're
like
doing
a
it,
lesson.
we're doing the book. Yeah, exactly. But there's a mindset around the book. Yeah, it's really frustrating. And also with these receptive skills, at the beginning I mentioned that these are we are practicing these skills. We are not testing it, right? So the difference would be that it's easy, right? And I think that is why the students are like, oh, we could do this already. We know. We know you can do this. That's why it's in your handbook, because you can do it, right? So and it's also about grading, of course. Not all students are on the same level, but that's kind of the goal with this, why we pre-teach these things, so that by the time the students have to do the things, they will be like, oh, it's so easy, I can do it in 2 minutes. Yeah, that's great, do it in 2 minutes. So these are just follow-up questions, right? So what phase would this be? This is not pre. We already did the reading and the during, right? Like this would be the during.
The production phase to write the question or answer the question.
That's right. So these would also be, yeah. So after production, so this is just a short feedback.
My question for you would be that, like, I also, like, when they answer the questions, and the more you say that, like, they already know it, it does seem true. Like, I've only had them for like a week now, but like, do you worry about covering the answers after they've done the work? Do you worry, like, because there's only 45 minutes, honestly, every time that I check the answers and like go over everything, it just wastes so much valuable time. Like,
I
should
agree.
just,
To be honest, I don't check it.
yeah.
Because we would kind of, sometimes I would briefly per exercise just quickly check. Just but I don't do all answers. If you're using a computer, it makes it easier because you can just give them the answers, right?
Well, I guess that's, I still need to find like the answer sheet, because there's an answer sheet, but it doesn't have any of the answers, and it's formatted very like broken. So I don't have like, oh yes, true, false, whereas I'm like sitting there and like, okay, I have to do the assignment like quickly. Like, it's not hard, but it takes me away from helping them or walking around the classroom and stuff. Like, I just need to do it pre-class and make sure I have all the things that I'm gonna do. It's just
That's
like,
a very good point that you're also making. Yeah, and also I don't like listening and reading tasks um, to do a presentation like this, because it takes extremely long to make a slideshow that you're going to use. Well, technically, if you work in a public school, you repeat it for 1 week. So also in theory, you know, you do it once and you have it. But it takes so long. I don't know if the lemon is worth the squeeze. But I would never do this for all my listening classes. No, this is too long. So we have to kind of, you know, choose how much and when we're going to put in the effort. So this would be another post reading activity, which is just a summary. And again, checking for words in context, and just meaning. Again, this is from the book.
You can also, with the reading tasks, you can also do a combination between all your methods that you had, that you mentioned before. For example, I usually, I don't do it all the time because I don't give reading that much, but I can always tell them to have a board runner game. So I'd photocopy the passage,
Yeah.
put it on the board, and because they're basically they're kids, they love competition. So I would tell them, okay, two people, we've got two teams, who's gonna, like, of course, like, a reading passage has 5-6 paragraphs. So I go, first paragraph, find the synonym of the word, maybe like limited, right? So I tell them, like, okay, so we have limited, we have a synonym, or I give them a word that is a synonym of limited. So I tell them, hey, find a synonym of this word, and of course it's limited. So they quickly, they have turns, of course, they quickly run to the board. Whoever finds the word, or whoever answers the question first gets the point. And it's always like, yay, our team wins, who, yay,
Like
we're winning,
competition.
right? Competition. And they're reading at the same time. They are they're running around, and they're cheering for their friends. So it's kind of good. It takes a little bit of the of the boredom away from the class,
Yeah.
because reading classes sometimes can be a little bit um
Boring.
sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the problem. Like, students associate reading and listening to passive. They think because they are listening, they don't need to actively listen. So they become passive, lie on the table. And that's where teaching these things come in, where and also probably motivation, like for us to motivate the students and saying, but no, you need to really pay attention. But yeah, with kids it's easy, they want to run around. I can't see my high school kids wanting to do that.
This is in high school, though. Like,
this is in high school?
yeah, like, they really love competition, right? Grade 10, 11, even 12, right? You just tell them, okay, so stand over here. You guys gonna race to the board, find the answer of this question. So if you go back a little, like, 2 slides back of your slides, so I tell them, okay, you've got the first paragraph, find a synonym for the word maybe quickly, right? Which is rapidly. So go. They find rapidly. Whoever gets it first, good job. Get back. We might then talk about this paragraph. So this paragraph talks about this really quick. Then we move on to the second paragraph. I choose another pair. Now, what does nuclear energy mean? So they run to the board quick. They They read, find the answer. Whoever says the answer first, of course, gets a point. Then we talk about, we quickly explain the paragraph and so on and so forth until the end of the reading passage. And now, like, I kind of finished like the whole reading, like, you know, the reading part.
Yeah.
We read it together. At the same time, we answer all the questions. At the same time, we also, like, you know, elicit or extract the words from the text.
Yeah.
And this means you've, like, you know, you basically finished like 80% of the task with the reading. And now it's time for the productive part, the one that we always want to give the students, because really some students, they really want to talk, or some of them, not all of them, but they want to talk, because they read and they write in their regular classes, so they're like, okay, I want to talk a little bit here. So now it's time to talk, so, you know, we can do any productive exercise about the lesson, right? Yeah.
What I'm thinking now, that's a great idea with the board race. You can also, there's another game that I'll show you later, or another game idea, which is where you have to form your own questions, right? You give the students a task to make their own questions from the text. You can easily combine like this text or your board race with that, make your own question by, for example, making the winners set up the next question.
Nice. Yeah, good strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have more time and energy to do it, you can also create blanks, and they need to find the word somewhere, or put posters up against the wall. In my classes, that will never work. I can barely move.
Yeah, true. I think the board runner game, I don't even do it that much because, as you said, it wouldn't work all the time, right? Sometimes, like, it would work maybe 40% of the time, but the other 60% would be like, okay, you know, there will be a little bit of hesitance there. But
yeah, and we can't do the same stuff all the time. I mean, that's where workshops like this is also great, because I have my toolbox with games, but sometimes I run out of games and then I'm stuck because I realize I can't do the same game with these students again. Let's quickly see. So this would be, okay. So familiar techniques that you saw. How do I say your name? Bode?
My name is Bodhi.
Bodhi.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Bodhi.
Sure.
So yeah, thanks for sharing. Really appreciate it. Did you see any other familiar techniques? Travis or Maurice or Alyssa or Simon? Maybe something you do in your classes as well, or something that you would definitely never do in your class.
Can I ask you something, you guys?
Yes.
How big are your classes? How many students do you usually have?
45.
45?
Yeah. How many do you have?
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
I just wondering, other colleagues, how many do you have? Like Elisa or
Yeah,
Travis?
same. 40 to 45.
Maurice, you, how many do you have in class?
Roughly the same. Some classes I'll have 30, some I'll have 45. Depends
but no
on the
less than
class.
30, right?
Yeah, no less than 30. 30 is rare to have 30 in a class.
Yeah,
Depends on the
That's
school.
like luxury.
Some schools, you could have 30 as a normal.
Yeah, my school.
Yeah, about 32 in my high school.
You have 32.
It's like eight students like per row. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 12 per row.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Simon, how many people in your classes?
Up to 48 sometimes.
Oh, okay. So also big. Are you teaching high school, middle school?
Public schools.
Yeah, public, but which level?
10, 11, 12 grades.
Oh, so we're all, Travis, you're also doing high school.
Yes, and also middle and high school. So I do have a class
you're
of,
doing middle as well. Okay, Maurice, high
yeah,
school?
yeah.
I do from 6th grade all the way to 11th grade.
Oh, so you do the same as Travis, basically. Alyssa, you do high school, you said?
Yeah, just high school.
Okay,
I
I
just
don't know about the other. Bodie, you said you also do
Yeah,
high school.
yeah,
right?
high school. Yeah, I'm just doing high school.
Okay. Yeah. Are there any other things that Sorry, don't. Are there any other tips that you guys can share with us? Something that worked in your classes while teaching or trying to teach these one?
I've done the
I like-
same as the TikTok game. Sorry. I'll just finish quickly. It's just like a tic-tac-toe game that you did, but instead just using a target and a sticky ball. And the kids find
Oh.
it pretty exciting,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like we get to throw a ball at the board.
Yeah, and they
So
don't realize that they are practicing English.
Yeah, and like it's a great speaking activity and they have to speak in front of everybody in the whole class and you know everyone's kind of like helping them along and like helping them pronounce the word or like think of a context, how can I build the sentence? So it helps with like really understanding the vocabulary as well as just using it one time, you know. So
Yeah.
I like that one.
What I was gonna say, that is a good idea, Alyssa. And similar, Fonny mentioned like if you have the text, you blank out a word and students maybe guess the blank. I'll do that too. Like I'll take news headlines, but blank out a word. Then they have to guess like what part of speech is the word? Is it going to be a noun? Would it be an adjective?
He did.
It is also frozen
That's
for
like,
you.
well, what part of speech would go here?
Okay, Travis.
was-
Sorry.
You got a little frozen in the middle of your
Oh,
sentence.
sorry. I just saw it said poor or unstable internet.
Could you
but
maybe
now-
just repeat the end? We didn't hear that last bit.
Oh, just I think blanking out words is a good tip because then it gets students thinking about the part of speech, what kind of word could go there, and relating to the reading lesson and blanking out a word maybe that I think is a good way to practice getting familiar and building vocabulary as well.
Do you guys have any freedom in your lessons? What I mean is like I pretty much have a set schedule of which lessons I should teach on which day.
I mean, we all have a syllabus
Yeah,
that basically
syllabus, yeah.
lays out what we should be doing each class, each week, each day, basically. So
I
Do you
don't see
guys
how it's
do that?
possible, in my opinion. Like,
It's awful.
no, not just that. How is it possible? Like, I have like today, for instance, there was like a reading and a speaking and a listening, and then, but like, what kind of speaking activity can we get through where we're like building up this really big, deep idea, and then we just like cut it short and we're like, okay, now we have to do a listening activity, or it's like start with this boring, long, drawn out listening activity and then ask them to do like some intense activity at the end. Feels like there's just two heavy weights like that. I can't balance the two of them. It's like either one or the other. Can I give full attention to? That's just how I feel
And do you
lately,
then
but I'm,
feel you have to do all of it, right? Because it's for
Yes, I
today.
don't
If we
know.
don't
I'm
do
not
it, we
sure
don't
what-
do it.
you know, I think a lot of it is like get through as much as you can. And so it would be like with a really advanced class, maybe it would go a lot faster, but for the most part, it's like getting their attention. There's like 5 students who are responding and the rest are busy on their phones and stuff. And I think it's kind of like, sometimes it feels futile to like wake up the students that are sleeping or not paying attention, and like I'm wasting all this breath and time like you know, threatening their score for the day, and just would rather just teach the 5 that are like, oh, I know, and yes, I'll do it. And, you know, it's just difficult. Like, so we're balancing 2 intense lessons that are long and in 45 minutes, and then also like just the classroom management of it all. So just my experience from 1 week though. So I'm obviously still have some learning to do with this book and the student.
So you said 1 week, 1 week of teaching, or
At
1
the
week
Gwyn
teaching
U
public
school. Just, I've done public school in the past, and we did have an IELTS book, but it was different. And it was a high school as well, but it was a different IELTS book, and it was mostly vocabulary. It was really just fun. Like, I just did like speaking vocabulary games, and it was just like, oh, this is easy. Let's play another different game, speaking, or like a simple production, or zip zap zop, like really easy stuff. And then you know, maybe we'd make it more difficult with like heightening the way we speak about something, or adding new synonyms or antonyms or something. But yeah, like just the difference is that these are more intensive. Like, okay, you've got these 6 questions about why new media is important, and why is the World Wide Web different than the internet, and who is this man? And I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of concepts.
You're at
And-
Win U in District 10.
Yeah,
That's a really good school.
They're
I've
pretty
been to that
smart.
school. Yeah, they're all really smart. It's like a private public school because they have money. That school is just really good in general. If you've ever, if that's the first school you've gone to, you've already hit the A list of all the schools basically.
Oh,
No, I've been to a
lucky.
lot of schools, but not with PEC. Yes.
Yeah, I think like my school currently is still teaching this book. This
Yeah,
is
that's
for you guys who don't know this book. This is I think before God created the heavens and the earth, he first took some time off to write this book. It's
the original.
very old. It's not a bad book. There's good
You've got the
content
hang of it
here.
now.
But
After a while.
and this is me personally, maybe now I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I often treat this as a guide,
Yeah,
a topic guide.
yeah.
And then I
That's a good
kind of
point.
create my own things around it,
Okay.
my own writing things, my own
Yeah.
speaking activities, because the school, the parents, the students, they don't care if we do this book, every
You're not
exercise in
checking.
this book. It's
Yeah.
not, no one cares. And
To be honest, yeah, as you just said, the books sometimes are ridiculous. Like I have this book and I'm teaching these kids, and this book just talks about let's learn about pronouns. And I'm like, wait, what? You guys are in high school and you're learning pronouns now? Like why? And it's like, you know, it's a whole waste of time. I'm like, guys, you know, you're supposed to learn I, you, and we and stuff like that. And like, really? Like, yeah, this is what.
Cool. Yeah.
But and I'm like, this is what you're supposed to learn. And I have to change, right? I can't just go on and
Yeah.
talk about I, you, and they with like 16 years old kids, right? I'm like, okay, let's change and gotta talk about something else. You guys have let's change the topic. Sometimes I do need to change the topic, right? Sometimes the questions are really weird. Like they are not interesting at all. Like if you add, okay, the topic is interesting, but the questions in the book, the discussion questions, they're like, no, I I don't want to discuss these questions.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm calculating for the rest of the week, like, because these classes this morning, like they went okay, but I could tell there was a little bit of like lull and kind of the downtime where I'm like, ew, there's nothing like pulling us or drawing us or, you know, making us do the next activity. So it's like, okay, I have to keep this rolling. And but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like, okay, I've got the idea from the book, but how can I kind of adapt it and make it a little bit more interesting and useful for like a speaking activity like that?
Mhm,
Kind of what,
I don't know if you guys have computers in your classrooms.
yeah, I'm so blessed with that.
Projectors.
That's
I,
amazing.
I get my laptop.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
wanted to say that helps a lot. My school, some classes now are getting computers. It's very useful to stick to the topic, but give them other information, because watching a video,
Yeah.
it's also listening, you know,
Yeah.
or
Find something
let them
relative.
watch a video
Yeah.
with the subtitles only, you
Yeah.
know, something like that, because that's reading, and then
Yeah.
ask them about that, or
Okay.
we
Yeah.
show them a video and turn off the sound, and then they have to guess what they are talking about.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
You know, so it's really useful to have that. I think what we can do maybe now is we can share some tips and games. Would that be okay with you guys?
Sure.
So I'm just going to finish my slideshow because I put time into it. I took my time to make it. I'll show it to you. Okay. So the 3 stages of a receptive lesson skill.
Oh, but pre, during,
3,
and post.
right? Pre,
During,
during,
like while, and post.
post. Yeah, great. So in order to help students develop their receptive skills and get the most out of any text or recording, it is a good idea to plan a well-staged lesson, right? Lucky for us, the books, most books that we use are already in that format. We start with the reading, speaking, listening, writing, and then grammar. That's usually the steps that they all follow, right? So the stages are pretty much already baked into the books, even in this ancient book. They knew already. Okay? And then a lesson should begin with a very general, very broad concept, but then we get closer and closer and closer. And by the time we get to the post, you know, that should be very specific already. Okay, some things to pre-teach, or why we pre-teach. I didn't know exactly how to name this. So we have to get an interest, you know, by showing a picture or a video or just talk. I often pretend that I don't know anything. Lucky for me, I'm bald, so I look older. I can just tell the kids, what is this? And just genuine, I don't know what this is. You got to tell me. So that's one way, pre-teaching the vocabulary. And this is also for listening. It's very useful to to teach the phrases and how it will sound when people speak it. If I let me just write on this thing. I'll just give you a quick example of. I have like my own phonetic way to write things. So okay, like a sentence like this. What do you want to have for lunch? Like the students are expecting to hear it like this. What do you want to have for lunch? You know, words. But then when they listen, they can't hear that. They just hear lunch, but they don't understand why why they can't hear it. And this is to do with linking. Do they call it word linking? I'm not sure exactly about the name for it, but like what a year have for lunch, right? This is more the way we would say, what do you want to have for lunch? But they don't hear that. So if they can read it and understand it, but I see they don't hear what do you want to have for lunch? So I would include things like this. Phonetics, it's not phonetics, but and then also let them practice this. So yeah, it's pronunciation, but it's got to do with listening, in my opinion, because this is what real English sounds like, right? This is the authentic, well,
Colloquial, isn't it? Colloquialisms.
oh, is that what you call this kind of speaking?
Yeah, like the way you sound depending on where you're from, like you
Oh.
may.
That's a very big word. Do you know how to spell it?
COLLO.
Wait. I'm gonna try it because I have the interwebs right here and I can share with
Maybe
you.
I'm wrong. I don't remember. Maybe colloquialisms are phrases, but
Hello.
Q. I think it's a Q. Yeah.
Quillism la G meaning.
Laggy.
Some examples of informal colloquialism.
Yeah.
This is how we spell it, guys. If you if
No,
you're still wondering.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
The hard word to find the easy words. Gonna. But then it's also like phrases from where you're from. Like you might not understand something that I'd say like "holy cow" or something like.
Yeah. So,
Something.
but that's a good one too. Yeah, to not only teach you know, just words and sentences, but also expressions. Especially if they're listening to something that's from, you know, they study American English, but then they listen to a British people.
Yeah. Oh, I play it up like, oh my God. And they're all like, ah, lose their minds. Like, literally, can you stop, please?
I can't even. I literally can't even.
Exactly.
Yeah, so pre-teach vocabulary as well as phrases. So you're checking what they know and what they don't know. Again, we can work in pronunciation. The 4 skills are not, it's not separated like in the book. We use all the skills all the time.
Right.
So at the end of the day, each lesson contains all 4 skills with more focus on a specific skill. Okay. Give words in context, and then the gist of a listening exercise, like that reading one, or yeah, like just listening to the video and not watching it. So here are just some things, some easy questions about it. You have seen this in all the books. They have some very easy questions. So this is what I said earlier about they boost their confidence, because they see, oh, they can do it. Yeah, they can do it. They're smart. Okay, during, I said here, you know, it's also to take their attention from not just reading words, but reading information, reading phrases. So this is just
Sorry to
extra.
also cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Just
need
gonna
to
say bye here. So,
okay, Melissa, you have to go. you
Yeah,
working in the center now?
I am going to my center, so I
Yeah.
just need to get ready quick.
Thank you, Alyssa.
But
Thank you
thanks,
for
it's been nice.
participating. It was great. So you missed the games now.
Yeah.
I'll share it somehow. I'll pass it on to us.
Okay, that would be awesome. Yeah, definitely
All right.
love collaborating on that. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah, that
you.
would be great. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. So when we do a listening, we have to listen to the at least twice. So the first time would just be to get the gist of it, and the second time would be more specific details. This is just things we can do during listening for just or pair work, feedback, and then afterwards, as I said earlier, it will always be a receptive task. After reading, there's speaking. Talk about what you've just read, or after listening or whatever. Somewhere there's always about this. After getting information, you have to output. Input leads to output. So here are some of the examples, or some things like yeah, you can either do something in class or do homework. I don't think we do homework. Well, I never give my students homework.
I
But
think we
homework,
can do homework.
So
but
you-
I just feel like homework is a is not very practical with these students. First of all, they've got a lot of homework from the other teachers,
already.
which of course they will prioritize, right? Like two, even when you give them like classwork, they many of them just don't do it, right? So if you give them homework, I don't expect much, to be honest, from the students. I never tried, to be honest, but I don't expect much.
Yeah, I also don't try. But of course, this is because I think some schools are different.
It depends
This is
on the class, and it depends also on the way the teacher approaches the students with the homework. I don't know, maybe someone would be successful in this in this matter, but not me. I was never successful to, like, I never tried, to be honest, but I don't think I can just give the kids or the students homework. They already have a lot of homework. They already are very pressured from the other main subjects. So giving a homework is just I think it's something futile. So I don't know.
I think with the homework, it's a very optional thing, and you should never ever call it homework. If you use the word homework, they're not going to do it. But if you, I haven't tried this, but it can be something like a quote. Hey, if you have a quote, a cool quote with the kids, this is maybe where a more personal relationship comes in. I find myself talking a lot to the same students. Not because I choose them, but they choose me. They come talk to me, and we end up sharing stuff, talking about whatever. So, even that, I would be like, hey, but if you find something, come share it with me as a friend.
Right. I think the closest thing that that I've ever been to a homework or something, a task that they would do at home, I would tell them, okay, guys, next time, let's say we're gonna have like we're gonna talk about something. Next time I will divide you into groups, and every group will be representing an idea. So we were talking about this traffic problem in Saigon, and I told them, okay, we've got 4 options, to to solve the problem of to solve this issue. And I gave them the four options. You've got like park your car outside the city, or park your bike outside the city and take a bus or a metro, stuff like that. I gave them four options, and I tell them, okay, if you have time, you can choose one of these options, and you can just read about it in your free time. um, have an idea before we start next class, because next class you guys will group up, you will make a presentation, and you guys will be like, let's say you will be a representative, I don't know, like a governmental representative, someone in the government. You will represent this idea, so you need to be eloquent, you need to be ready enough, you need to be you need to speak with charisma, you need to know what you're talking about. So maybe read about it if you can, if you have time. If you don't, I don't tell them if you don't, but if you can read about it, read about it. I think this is the closest thing that I've come to when talking about
Yeah, it's
homework.
like homework. Yeah, there's no real. I don't expect them to even remember their books. My expectation for my students are very low. That way, my disappointment is also very low. The bar is very low. If they say hello to me, I'm already ecstatic. Okay. Some ideas like the do-it-yourself questions that we were talking about earlier, where you let them ask each other questions, or provide a title. I think we talked about this one before. Summarize, continue the story, or what happened before the story. I like things like this, where you kind of have to be creative. Fill in the gap text. That was what Travis was also referring to. Correct the mistakes in the text. The discussion and debate, that's kind of what you were talking about now, Bodhi. Revision. Okay, and I think that's it. Yeah, so different kind of production that you can combine with other things like pronunciation or intonation exercises. Yeah. So I don't have anything more to share. I don't know if there's someone else that has some more games or some extra tips, or maybe something that you feel is just completely off. No, Maurice? How do you find reading and listening lessons? Do you enjoy it?
It depends on the students. The 10th and 11th graders, they can just go by within like a few minutes, just gone, done.
Yeah.
And then my 6th graders, that can take a very long time sometimes, where they'll tell them to read something, do a certain assignment where it's just answer the questions based off of what you're reading. And it
Okay,
could
so
take
like a
them
during
all 45 minutes to do that if
Mhm.
they even do it. And
Oh.
so it's my classes dramatically fluctuate and change from level understanding to just other things, where I don't even think half the class even understands English at all. And so I'm just kind of like, what do I do with that?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it very hard.
I have one 6th grade class where I'll straight up speak more Vietnamese than English in the class, just so they can understand better. And then a few of the students don't even understand like a little English at all, basically. And I'm trying to teach them relatively higher English. And I'm just like, why are you here? Like, how are you here? And so they tell me in Vietnamese like they're here because their parents want them to learn English, but they don't understand anything related to English at all.
Yeah,
And
that-
so they're just kind of forced to be there, but they don't know anything.
yeah,
What
that-
about focus on just like reading without kind of comprehension, like in front of the class? And would you require the rest of the class just to listen, and like how is their behavior?
They
Because
wouldn't
that's-
do that. They would not do that. I set up in the very beginning of my classes to be respectful. If anybody is talking, whether it's me or anybody else answering a question, reading, whatever, be quiet and listen.
Yeah.
But they're students. They're not gonna do that. You might give them like, hey, be quiet, wait, listen, please. But it's instantly within somebody else that's not them talking, they're gonna start talking. Like that's just how they are. That's what they do. You do have a good amount of the class, probably 50, 60, 70% of the class that will sit there, be quiet, listen, be good. But there's always those like 15, 20% of the class that will just constantly talk. And if they're not the ones talking, something's wrong. Basically how they feel.
In my school, what I have is like one of the effective tools is we have a teacher's book, and if I threaten them to write their name in the teacher's book, that kind of gets them to behave quite like 90% of the time that will get them to behave. That just the threat of the fact that I would write their name in. I haven't actually written their name in, but I still don't think that behavior is acceptable. So I'm still struggling with discipline in my school. But I'm thinking, like right now, I'm thinking it's about time. You know, it's week 8, and I've never written any names into the teacher's book. So I'm thinking like maybe it's time to just kind of like teach them that lesson, that it's unacceptable and it's time to face the consequences, really, because there are no consequences for their actions. And that's what I think is just, it doesn't get any respect. So I think it's time to like shoot them down a little bit. Do you have something as well, like a teacher's book?
I went to their class teacher, you know, the main class teacher. Every class has a main class teacher. So I had this class where like these 3 kids, they want to be dealt you know, with as kids, as like, you know, grade 6th graders, you know, they're in high school, but they're trying to be like, I don't know, funny or something, but they're not, right? They're not funny at all, but they're trying to be funny. I don't know, they want attention. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I go to this guy, I go to them, and I went to the main teacher, the class teacher. I tell her like, listen, of course she doesn't speak English, so I go to the other English teacher. I make her translate. I tell her I have these 3 kids, and they're just like, you know, causing a fuss. They need to be like, you know, they need someone to put them in the place.
Exactly.
And she tells me, yes, of course, write their names in the red book. The next day I go into the class, these 3 kids, they're not sitting together, and they're completely silent. I'm like, yeah. There's something happened that I didn't know. I don't know I have it, but something definitely happened.
Yeah, so it works, right?
Yeah.
It works. Or what you can also do, just if you don't really want to take that much action, is I would write down 10 in the corner of the board and just cross it out and write 9. They kind of get what it means. They don't get 10 in their book. They only get 9.
Oh, that's a good start. Yeah.
And then I just go down. I'm not scared. I tell them,
Yeah.
I can go down.
I've had classes that straight up don't listen. This was last year. I had a class that was really bad. Didn't listen, didn't do anything, didn't want to participate. I was just sick and tired of them. So I threw in like a ridiculously low number. I think I put in like a 3 in the book or something for the class score. And I just didn't care. I was just like, whatever, don't care. I'm doing this.
Mhm.
And then the teacher of that class came to me and started yelling at me because apparently now her
And now
class
she looks bad.
is the lowest class in the school. Now it affects her pay. It affects she's yelling at me saying I'm the problem. And I'm just like,
For yelling, you should have put 1 next day.
I don't know. But I was just like, why are you mad at me when you should be mad at the students?
Yeah.
Like being mad at me is just weird.
Well, I think just being mad in general is a sign of disrespect, right? Like it really like has to kind of push you to like I try to avoid it as much as possible. Like, of course, we're all human, but like I try to kind of like just
So I have this
Well-
other sneaky way, but it's very sneaky.
go.
So I do this fake examination, and I I give them like right in front of their eyes. I give them really low marks, and they think this is like something for real. This is like something that will affect their overall score, and they're like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna behave now. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna try my best." I just like, okay. So I hold up like the sheet, the name sheet. I don't do this all the time, but I do it like every maybe 6 class, or when I'm really annoyed at them, right? So I take out the sheet with all their names. They know that this is the sheet for score, for the scores. And I let go. I ask him a question. I ask someone a question who is not paying attention, and they like, if they can't answer, I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I write something. They don't know what I'm writing, but they know that this is a sheet. This is the scoring sheet, and suddenly the whole class is like, okay, this guy's doing something.
That's a very smart way. I'm, I'm definitely gonna try that one. Yes,
Yeah.
have a something. Okay, yeah. Cool. By the way, this is just something I use in my classes. Because the Sorobai, they care about the Sorobai. I call it a Sorobai bye. They care about it, but they also don't care. So my punishment, if they talk in my class, I speak Vietnamese, they have to stand up, and then I ask them IELTS questions in front of everyone. Or sometimes I tell the students they can just ask whatever they want, and this person has to answer, because they don't like it. And just this is for me about smartphones though. I don't allow it. If I see it, I take it, and I put it on my desk.
I tell them I don't, with the smartphone thing, I tell them I don't want to deal with you as little kids. I don't want to take your smartphones because, I feel like this is not a teacher's job, going around and taking phones. That's not my job. My job is to teach you guys, not go around and look for your phones. And I'm not Inspector someone, right? I'm not Inspector Bodie. I'm Mr. Bodie. So
I take their phones kind of as I tell them that I'm doing them a favor. So it's not punishment. I totally understand. I understand that you're using your phone. That's totally normal behavior because it's there. So I'm just helping you by taking your phone so that you don't feel like you have to look at it. Right?
Yeah,
That's
take
my thing.
favors.
I also don't allow them to put it in their pockets. It has to be in their backpacks. When they go to the bathroom, they may not take their phones with them. Because
Yeah,
if they
that's
don't
a
have it, they don't want to use it anyway.
when they don't have it, they sleep.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that too. Sometimes they'll just go to bed.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that someone is maybe unsure of, or something that you need advice on, that we can talk about?
How about like how do you utilize or how do you work together with TAs? Like what's the most common ways you would interact with TAs and kind of get involved in the classroom?
That's a good question because there are good TAs and then there are less good TAs.
I don't have any TAs.
Yeah. So you have a TA now, Kestas. Is that how I
Yeah.
say your name, Kestas?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, so you have a TA, Simon? Do
Yeah.
you have a TA? A teacher's assistant. Um,
Who's asking now?
oh, it's funny. Funny is asking. I'm asking if Simon, you have a TA in your class.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so Kestas and Simon. Maurice, you are your own TA.
I don't have a TA. Also, my school takes away cell phones.
Oh, that's great. Man,
Yeah,
what a
my school takes away the cell phones in the very beginning of the day, and then they'll give it back to them at lunchtime, and then take them back after lunch,
Is that
and
a
then
school?
give them back at the end of the day.
I'm sending my kid to that school.
It's decent. I like it, but at the same time, it limits what you can do activity wise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's
Um,
nice to have a phone. It's very useful.
it can be very useful. It can also be very distracting sometimes, but it can be very useful at the same time.
That's the thing, though. Like, I don't mind cell phones as a tool. Like today, I took a girl's phone, and like in the 2 minutes that I was standing there talking, this phone didn't stop vibrating. Her notifications, it felt like I was doing like a Facebook endless scroll. It just kept going. And I'm like, no wonder this girl can't get rid of her phone because it's telling her all the time. It's like a crying baby. Give me attention. Poor girl. Poor girl. Anyway, any other questions? Kestas, Pare, Maurice, Simon? Ilya? Ilya? Oh, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Any other questions? Dot, do you have any questions? Do you have anything more that you would like me to talk about or us to talk about? No?
Well, for now, I don't have any. Do you have anything to share with our teachers? Coop is here also.
I can tell something actually if you want to hear, guys. In regards to class management, when you know kids, let's say you just like mentioned a couple of seconds ago. So if the kids are misbehaving, right? So there's always gonna be someone misbehaving, right? Doesn't matter what you do. There's always gonna be some kids with their phones, or they have too much energy, or something else going on there. Maybe too much homework or something. You're not always in control. Of all students. So this is what I learned throughout my teaching experience because I taught before prior I came to Vietnam. So this is what I actually do, even though I never actually had so big classes before, like 50, like 45 students, 40 is quite a lot actually. But this is what I used to do before. So if there is those students that are misbehaving, and usually I learn, these those guys' names I know already. So what I usually do, let's say if they playing basketball, right? In my school, a lot of kids they playing basketball or soccer or any kinds of games. I usually try to join. I try to join. I try to make kind of relationship with those guys. I mean, just having socializing, speaking. Sometimes I even eat with students, right? And I noticed after a while they look at me as more like as a teacher / as a friend, and they give me more respect. Because they kind of know me that I played this guy at basketball in my school, and he's always like have so much energy and always misbehave and always talk with the girls. The boys they try to talk to the girls all the time, but anyway, so what happened actually? Couple of weeks like prior, he was always energetic, but what happened this week and the week before? He just started respecting me, always listen to me, always, trying to be still and do not misbehave. So yeah, this is my advice, guys. So this is what I learned.
That's true. That's true. And this happens in a lot of cases. But unfortunately, also in some cases, it might, be counterproductive. Like I have this student who I tried to befriend, right? But I didn't try to be like I'm trying to socialize, trying to win him on my side. But then it became like I was going into the class and he's like, "Hey, bro." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Hey, bro? What, who are you talking to, man?"
Yeah, I see both. But the thing is about that as well. So what you actually is a good argument. Was good. There's like I have kind of bored, like there's a distance now. Like there's limits as well. So I'm not trying to be like his best friend. I'm trying to be a bit socializing, and then when the thing is like, yeah, of course they're gonna all because they're kids, they 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. I remember when I was 12th grade, 11th grade, I also like I used to be like that, But the thing is that if they're saying yo bro, right? Like they're saying to you that they used to say that to you, Bodhi? Are they still saying that?
Yeah, that kid, he told me like, "Hey, bro," and I told him I'm not your bro.
And what happened after that? Is it
I
still
told
like,
him no, I told him I'm not your bro. And he's like, "Oh, sorry. Hey, teacher." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah, but
you.
it is, you just, you need to like remind him that you're a teacher and that's it, That's
Yeah,
the problem
true,
is solved, right? Yeah, but thing is that I was speaking of in general matter, Yeah, like
true.
what happens always like girls, they also like I'm dealing with a couple of girls, they always as they mentioned, they're always on the phones, right?
Mhm.
Always checking either, I don't know, either Instagram or TikTok, right? Always like, and I say to them like, not trying to be too strict, just saying, could you do this please, like during the break after, after the lesson, and it's trying to be like in a kind of friendly way, and actually sometimes it works quite good,
Yes,
Well,
true.
this is what I'm trying to do,
Yeah,
not
true.
saying that I'm succeeding or succeeding.
Yeah, true. Of course, like different strategies work with different people. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just have to keep trying. I think that's maybe the whole thing. The only thing about teaching is you keep trying. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just get so frustrated, and like again, workshops like this is great because it's so great to hear other teachers kind of struggle with the same problems, and just getting some perspective or some advice or just someone that understands what you're going through. That's also important. Good. Should we end here? Is there anything more that we need to discuss? Kestas, any more questions? You are on mute, my friend.
Thank you. No, I think what Travis mentioned, like you want to make another one. Oh, where is he? Oh, he's not here anymore. Travis wants to make another one. I think we just kind of like make these, once in a while. But for now, yeah, it's just the behavior of really, because I guess I didn't set those boundaries right. I kind of was too soft for them, and yeah, because the only thing I knew what to do is just to write their name into the book, and I'm like kind of like I don't want to do that, but at the same time I don't want to play too many games with them. While I was kind of, yeah, maybe I should play a little bit more games.
Yeah, I punished him by giving him productive work. I would also tell them, okay, you don't want to shut up, then I'll make you shut up. Now we're doing writing. Take out a page. Now we are doing writing. And you will shut up. If I hear anyone talk, it becomes 2 pages. Oh, you want 3 pages? Oh my God, I sound like my mom. You want more? Huh?
Also, guys, I just remember something. Also, in regards to class management. Also, notice in some classes, I don't know if you guys experience the same. In some classes, there's always 1 or 2 students that are more kind of, I would say, in a control.
Yeah.
Like they more, like they more, perhaps definition of it would be bossy or more, so
Just leave.
sometimes even when the class is too loud, that particular students look at me, right? And tell the whole class just to shut up and listen to the teacher. This is what happened to me a couple of times, no?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
these are the monitors. I think these are the monitors of the class.
Yeah, or sometimes it's just somebody who just wants to yell out.
Right, right. Who's
Yeah, the
super annoyed.
loudest one.
Who's
The
somebody
loudest
who's super
one.
annoyed.
Yeah.
Good kids. They're helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like TAs. They're like little TAs.
Yes.
Oh, and that's-
For something that's completely off topic, I put to the group on the 20th, November 20th is Teachers Day. And I was going to see how many people wanted to go bowling that day.
Yeah, I'm still down. I would,
Okay.
I would actually like that.
Okay, because I haven't spoken to any like locations yet, but I still just want to like a ballpark estimate of like how many people would be willing to go. So
Yeah.
far, I'm counting roughly like probably 10 or 15, I would assume would be willing to go, but I don't know the exact like numbers.
Speaking of the Facebook group, are you guys all on the Facebook group chat?
No, I'm not.
No? Okay. I don't know. Are you friends with Mr. Dutt?
I'm not on Facebook.
Not on Facebook. Yeah. So if you
That
can,
yeah, I can send my Facebook to that, and that you can add me on Facebook there.
yeah. Because of the Facebook group does help. It does help with communicating some things that are,
You're talking about the messenger group or the
messenger
actual
group. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like an actual Facebook group where we post stuff on Facebook. It's just like
Yeah.
messaging.
It's just a messenger group. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can alternatively, I'm sure we can also do it on Zalo, if you guys prefer that. That I don't know if that's easier for everyone to chat on Zalo.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think everyone here has Zalo, but
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't really check Messenger except for when there's.
I turned off all notifications on that group for like a year.
Yeah.
I just didn't do anything in it.
Maybe Zalo is better because Zalo is kind of like really Vietnam thing, right? So it's not like personal.
And that's maybe easier than it's not so much like your profile.
Yeah.
So if you guys want, I don't know, maybe it's better if a Power English staff member, becomes admin of that. I'm happy to start it. I just don't have anyone's numbers. But
I guess we're gonna move. I guess we're gonna move to Zalo group or something.
yeah. So
It's better. Yeah, it's better because everyone. I guess everybody has Zalo.
yeah, because you have their numbers already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be monitored easier, and it's easy to mute if we have to, because it isn't super important. But yeah, like Maurice's invitation was on that group, and I think not everyone got that, and I think other people would also like it. Thanks for the invitation, by the way, Maurice.
Also, what do you think if we invited TAs to that group as well? Because I feel like we're working together closely, and it's like a working relationship. So I don't see any problem like if TAs would be in the group as well.
TAs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like I think we just kind of hit everyone's in there together, because I know some of you don't work with TAs, but from my experience working in Vietnam, like most of the time I would be working with TA. So I feel like it's good to have them as well, not to separate.
Speaking of that, I don't know how these things work, but if there are TAs hired by Power English and want to join these kind of workshops, I think that should be absolutely a thing. because many of the TAs actually want to be teachers. So
Yeah.
Most of the TAs that I know of are actually from the school that you
Oh,
teach at. Because I've done a few high schools where the TA is actually like the English teacher of that class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have one high school,
I
just
was
2
thinking.
classes, bro. Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah, maybe then it's different, right?
There's a few I know of that do have TAs through Power English, but it's not as often as you would think.
Yeah, yeah. I had at a previous school in District 9. I had a Power English TA, and then my first school where I ever worked, they had the English teacher TA situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
that you will sort out the new group.
Yeah, we could try the teachers and assistant group thingy.
Yeah.
So
Right. Okay, guys, I'm sure we all have to get ready now. Maurice, I'm not sure what time you start tonight.
I start at 6.
Yeah, me too. Online?
No, I have to go into the center.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Simon,
You as
nice
well.
to meet you. Bode, nice to meet you. Gestas, nice to meet you too.
Pleasure is mine.
Ilya, nice to meet you. I guess if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it make a sound?
Oh, absolutely.
So this
Made
is
a
now.
bang.
Can I say, Ilya, nice to meet you? If I, I didn't.
Nice
hear
to meet you,
it, I didn't
Fanny.
see. So, but nice to meet you. Yeah, good. That.
all right. So I guess at the end of it, and hopefully we can do this like more often, and
In person.
we're planning on doing another one for teaching management, classroom management actually. So you guys can share more about your experience on manage the students. And well, I'll set up the Zalo room for all the teachers. And don't forget the invitation to Morris pooling party. And another thing is we're gonna hold a party for all the teachers, a get together party, probably before Christmas.
Sounds good.
Like last 2 years.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
before
good.
COVID.
Yeah, make a party for the last 2 years. Make it up for it.
Yeah. Great.
All
Right.
right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for
everyone.
joining us today, and hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, Fanny.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
See you again.
Pleasure.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone.